Good morning, everyone. So in our last class, we started with segment 2, taxable event under GST, that is supply. In that supply, we were into the discussion related to inclusions. And the first inclusion that we have seen, section 7, subsection 1, clause A, any activity for a consideration in the course or furtherance of business, but that activity should be in the nature of debts RLL. And next activity that next clause that we have seen is 7.1 AA, that is any activity between a person other than individual and its members, but that should be for a consideration. And in that regard, I asked you one question. There is a partnership firm and there are partners in that partnership firm. Partners are providing services to the partnership firm and they are getting remuneration from the partnership firm. Is it covered under 7.1 AA or not? Did you go through that? Yes. So what's your answer? Not covered under 7.1 AA.
Should not.
Why?
Supreme Court,
But actually, to overrule that case only, they have brought this 7.1
the case
AA.
happened before this. But in the case, the Supreme Court clearly states that even though the club is incorporated structure, the club is a superstructure and the members are the real life of the club.
No. See, that case actually is right. There was a Supreme Court case wherein it said that, so whenever there is a unincorporated association or a club, etc., when they are providing services to its members, the principle of mutuality does not exist. So that's why it will not be treated as service. Like that, in the context of service tax, they have given that case. And to overrule that particular case only, they brought this clause 7.1 AA. Okay. So therefore, that case is no more relevant now. Reason being, so they have overruled that particular case by way of making an amendment in the act itself. So due to that reason, no need to refer that case. Okay. And any other? I heard only one answer, that is it will not be covered under 7.1 AA. Okay. Anyone who is having alternative view that it is covered under 7.1 AA? Okay. See, actually it is simple. Just for being a partner, if the partnership firm pays the remuneration, it will not be coming under supply because it is withdrawal of profits. So partner taking remuneration from the partnership firm is nothing but withdrawal of profit. That's the reason why even in income tax, they put the restriction as to how much will be allowed as deduction while computing the partnership firm's income. So like section 40 will be talking about this much only will be allowed, the book profit computation. In that book profit, a percentage will only be allowed. So remaining will not be allowed, because basically the remuneration which is received by the partnership firm from partners from the partnership firm is nothing but withdrawal of profits. Withdrawal of profit is not a supply because it's an investment activity. I put money in the business and I get the profit out of that business. So there is no supply in that. Are you understanding this? However, if the partner is rendering any professional or technical services to the firm and for which a separate contract is there between the partner and the firm pays the money to the partner, then it will come under supply 7.1 AA. Are you understanding this? For example, myself and you, we both started one coaching center. Okay. You are not teaching, I am teaching, but equal investment. You are putting 50%, I am putting 50% investment, and we started one coaching center. You will not be teaching, but I will be teaching. We both will do the administration. Whereas, as I am teaching, so I will make a separate contract with the firm. In my capacity as a partner to the firm, so a contract will be there as a teacher, so for which I will take money from the firm for taking the classes, plus for being a partner, anyhow you and me, we both will be enjoying the remuneration. So because we are looking after the business. Are you understanding this? Now you got some money from the firm now. That is for what? For being a partner, not a supply. Even I will also get the same amount. What you are getting, the same amount I will also get. For what? For being a partner, not a supply. But there is a separate contract with which I have entered in the partnership firm to provide some services, and for which, like taking classes, for which I will get some money. That will come under supply 7(1) AA. So because it usually happens, like the partners will be providing some professional service or technical services to the firm, for which they will be getting some money from the firm. So that alone will be coming under 7(1) AA. But remember today, withdrawal of profit is not a supply. Is it clear or not? So you are doing an investment activity. By doing the investment activity, you got a profit and you withdraw the profit. Withdrawal of profit is not a supply. Okay. That is about 7(1) AA. Audio quality is very low. So that might be from your end, pa. You just check. Maybe others are also having same issue, then it could be my issue. You increase volume. Then 7(1)B, look into 7(1)B. So 7(1)A and AA, you got the clarity, right? 7(1)AA is what? Any person other than individual and its members, if there is any transaction between them for a consideration, it will become supply. And one more example also I can give you. There is a company and there is a shareholder of the company, and the company provides some services to the shareholder like share transfer certificate or some other services, for which company will collect some money from the shareholder. So this will come under 7(1) AA. Why it will come under 7(1) AA? Company is a person other than individual. Shareholder is the members. So company is providing services to the members and they collect some money from the members. So it will come under 7(1) AA. Same is the case. There is a resident welfare association, apartment owners association. That apartment owners association will be providing lot of facilities to the members who are nothing but the flat owners by incurring the common area maintenance expenses, and they will recover maintenance charges. So again it will become supply under 7(1) AA. How? So here association is an unincorporated body which is other than individual, and the members of that association is nothing but the flat owners. So any activity between an association and its members, so it will come under 7(1) AA because it is for a consideration. So what is the consideration involved there? Maintenance charges. Okay. So all the persons who provide services to their members or the members provide services to the person is covered under 7(1) AA. 7(1)B says import of services for consideration whether or not in the course or furtherance of business. What is the difference between 7(1)A and 7(1)B? 7(1)A is any activity. 7(1)B is import of services. And 7(1)A for consideration. 7(1)B also for consideration. 7(1)A in the course or furtherance of business. But 7(1)B uses the word whether or not in the course or furtherance of business. And if it is in the course or furtherance of business, it will be covered under 7(1)A itself. Na? So why is it separately given under 7(1)B? If it is in the course or furtherance of business, it is anyhow covered under 7(1)A. So then 7(1)B could have used the word, so not in the course or furtherance of business. But why? Whether or not in the course or furtherance of business. Because 7(1)A is to be seen from the supplier point of view. So sale, transfer, barter, exchange, rental, license, lease, all these words are from whose perspective? Supplier perspective. Whereas import of services is from the recipient perspective. You are importing services, means you are the recipient, someone is supplying the services. So that's the reason why 7(1)B is given whether or not in the course or furtherance of business, because this activity will never be coming under 7(1)A. Because 7(1)A should be seen from supplier point of view. And for example, you are subscribing for this OTT platforms, Amazon Prime, Netflix, etc. Is it an import of service? Yes. Where is the supplier located? Outside India. Where are you located? In India. Is it for consideration? Of course, yes. And is it in the course or furtherance of your business? You are the importer. So we should see in the course or furtherance of business, not from supplier point of view, because for supplier it is always in the course or furtherance of business. We need to see from the recipient point of view. So is it in the course or furtherance of business for you? No, definitely it is your personal but it will become supply under 7.1b, because 7.1b uses the word whether or not in the course or furtherance of business. Why under 7.1b they are telling, like it should be in the course or furtherance of business or not? Because there is a foreign exchange outflow. There is a foreign exchange outflow. So because of that foreign exchange outflow, so they are telling, like if it is 7.1a, Indian services, domestic. So therefore, they are telling in the course or furtherance of business. But in 7.1b, as there is a foreign exchange outflow, they want to prevent that. So because what will happen when there is too much of foreign exchange outflow? Too much of foreign exchange outflow leads to deficit, trade deficit. So trade deficit, because so we have to import and export. When imports are more and exports are less, so automatically a trade deficit will arise and the currency fluctuation will happen. So due to that reason, anyhow we are doing that, so let's tax that so that government will get some revenue. So with that object only 7.1b is brought. Okay, then what if it is in the course or furtherance of business? Of course it is supply. So even if it is not in the course or furtherance of business also, it becomes supply. Then next 7.1c. So audio quality is low for many students. Okay, don't know what is the issue here. Okay, check now. Okay, thank you. So look into 7.1c, activities in schedule 1 even though not for consideration. So what is the difference between 7.1a and 7.1c? 7.1a is for consideration, 7.1c is without consideration, not involving any consideration. But not all activities will come under 7.1c. There are only 4 notified activities which will be covered under 7.1c. So you can remember that with a keyword DRIP, D-R-I-P. D for disposal of business asset on which ITC has been availed. So that is, I have purchased a business asset, say AC I have purchased. At the time of purchase of AC, whatever GST that I paid on AC, I would have availed ITC with respect to that. Now that AC I am donating to one charitable trust, to an old age home or to an orphanage. I have donated. Is it for consideration or without consideration? Without consideration. So will it become supply? Yes. Disposal of business asset on which ITC has been availed. So it will become supply under 7.1c. Okay. So why it will become supply under 7.1c? So reason simple. At the time of purchase you avail the ITC, correct? And that ITC when you have enjoyed, so you need to pay the GST when the asset is not with you. You purchase the asset. At the time of purchase of asset, you paid some GST and you enjoyed the ITC, and that ITC you will adjust with your liability. Now is that asset with you? No, the asset is not with you. When the asset is not with you, how can you enjoy the ITC benefit? So therefore you need to pay the liability. So for that reason only they are telling it is a supply. When it is supply, disposal of business asset on which ITC has been availed. Okay. And there is one query here, is 7.1b will be included in GST threshold limit? See, that is too early for us to discuss. So we will see that discussion. Actually it is not your turnover, it is your inward supply. Turnover means sales. So why it will be included in your sales? How purchase will be included in your sales? So because you are CA final students, I don't want to go deep into what is the difference between sales and purchase and all. So you know na difference between sales and purchase. So purchases will not come in sales. Okay. So sometimes you have to refresh your foundation accounts and all. So when you are importing services, it is your purchases. Purchase is a different transaction. So sales is a different transaction. So purchases will not be included in sales. You understood or not? Then. So disposal of business asset on which ITC has been availed. Okay. What if ITC is not availed? Then in that case, will it become supply or not a supply? it will not become supply. Disposal of business asset is there, but on which ITC is not available. For example, I am purchasing a car, and car is a blocked credit. Already I told you car is a blocked credit, and we cannot take ITC with respect to the car. Now that car I used for some days, and thereafter I just gifted it, okay, donated it. So without any consideration. Now it will become supply under 71C? No, because it's disposal of business asset. It is my business asset, and there is a disposal of business asset, but on which I have not availed any ITC. Consequently, it will not become supply. And whenever we are learning about supply, so don't bother about whether we need to pay GST or not, how much GST we need to pay, what should be taken as value. All those are one parts, so which we will be learning in future. So right now what we need to understand is that activity supply or not. The first step is that the activity should become supply. The second step is that activity should be a taxable supply. Then only the payment of GST shall arise. You understood? So right now we are in the first part, that is whether an activity is supply or not a supply. Then R for related party transactions, including transaction between distinct persons. So there are some parties who are considered as related persons between related persons. For example, holding company and subsidiary company are treated as related persons, and between them if there is any activity, even though without consideration, it will become supply. Why? Because between related parties, so there won't be any consideration, because the profit sharing will be there. So that is an indirect consideration which they will be getting. So for that reason, they have brought this activity into supply 71C. Related party transaction, including transaction between distinct persons. Distinct persons also like defined. So distinct person means one registration of a person to their another registration. For example, if I am doing business in multiple states, say Tamil Nadu, Karnataka, Andhra Pradesh, Kerala, Telangana, like that. Now one registration, each and every state I need to get a separate registration. So one registration to the other registration, if there is any transfers, stock transfers or branch transfers, that will be treated as transaction between distinct persons. Even though it is without consideration, it will become supply under 71C. So that is this related party transaction, including transaction between distinct persons. Then I for import of services by a person from related person or establishment located outside India. What is the difference between 71C import of service and 71B import of service? Can you see that? Compare. 71B import of service is for consideration. 71C import of service is without consideration. Then related person. 71B import of service is from any person, but 71C import of service is from a related person. Then 71B is actually whether or not in the course or furtherance of business, but in 71C they have not given that. Means it should be in the course or furtherance of business. Okay. Now let's try to understand this with an example. Say you wanted to start a smartphone manufacturing company in India. So because Indian smartphone manufacturers are not there, okay. So many times I feel like, what if there is an Android phone with the Apple features? You understood? Like Pakka security. You know why people go for Apple? Not because of the camera quality. Camera quality is very good in Android phones itself, and not because of the user experience, that is Android is comfortable. Then why people go for iPhone? Security. What is that security? It is like when you search something in the Amazon, it will haunt you in the Instagram, no? Like to purchase. So that haunting will not be there, and wherein the tracking. So iPhone will not track, like apps will not track. Phone will track, but apps will not track. So which means which location you are in, everything. Android, it's like completely, it is like you are just thinking that you are putting lock to the door, but nothing of that sort. So only door is locked, but all windows, everything is open. Okay. So that is what Android is. That's the reason why people wanted that privacy and security, for which they will be going for iOS, Apple. Okay. Now what if you want to make a superb phone Android phone, but whatever security features that are being offered by Apple that you wanted to give, okay, and we can call it as pineapple phone. Now when apple means you believe, so pineapple, strawberry and all, we can keep names, so nice it will be, and you started that company. But how much ever hardware you can make, but mainly a phone works on a software. So Android is belonging to Google. So you need to purchase the Android software, stock Android you need to purchase, and on the top of that you can add the element of securities, etc. and all. But what Google will be telling, boss, already I have given my software to lot of companies. Now if I need to give it to you, so what is the excitement for me? So just money I don't need. Money I don't need because I have enough money. Crores and crores of money I have. I don't need money, but I want the power. So therefore, you give me the equity stake in your company, then I will give you the software free. So therefore, what you are doing, you are giving 51% to Google, and that is equity you have shared, and for which you are getting the software free. Now in this case, import of services is the software that you are importing for consideration or without consideration? Without consideration, because the equity that you give is not treated as consideration. You understood or not? So why it is not treated as consideration, sir? It is not for this service alone. So that is a separate agreement which you transfer the equity to Google, and that's a separate transaction. And this import of service is without consideration, but from a related person. And is it in the course or furtherance of your business? Yes. Why are they taxing this transaction? Why they brought it under supply? Because if you see, whatever profits that you are making, 51% is taken by Google, which means there is an indirect consideration flowing to Google. Got it? That's the reason why these transactions and all, even though without direct consideration, because I told you consideration should be direct. These are all what? Indirect consideration. That's why they brought it into supply. Are you understanding this? So import of services for a consideration or without consideration? Without consideration from a related person, but it should be in the course or furtherance of business. What if import of service from an unrelated person without consideration? Will it come under 7(1)(c)? No, only if it is related, because the objective I told you. So because there is a sharing of profit, that's why they have brought this. Then P for principal agent transactions, where agent is acting on behalf of principal. So any transaction between principal and the agent, so when it is without consideration, it will come under supply, provided the agent is acting on behalf of principal. What does it mean? For example, in consignment chapter, you would have learned consignor will be sending the goods on consignment to the consignment agent. Consignment agent will make the sales, and thereafter he gets the money and he deducts his commission and he share the proceeds with the principal. That is consignor, correct? And whenever the goods are sent on consignment, we will never show it as sales, because goods sent on consignment so is treated like our closing stock only. So the stock not in our place, but in the place of the consignment agent, because the consignment agent will not pay the consideration whenever we are sending the goods on consignment. Whenever he actually make the sale, at the time only he will make payment to us, correct or not? So therefore there is consideration or no consideration at present when we are sending the goods to the agent. There is no consideration. So principal sending the goods to the agent, at the time when the goods are sent, there is no consideration. Even then it will become supply under 7(1)(c), and here the agent should be acting on behalf of principal. When agent will be acting on behalf of principal, if invoice is raised by the agent in his name, then agent is acting on behalf of principal. So which means the consignment agent should raise invoice in whose name? Consignment agent's name, not in the name of the principal. You understood or not? Means the agent should not represent the principal. So that's where we would have seen, so the concept of del creditor agent, loading in the invoice, etc. and all, where agent will raise the invoice to the buyer. Are you understanding this? Agent is representing the principal, means the principal is hidden. We don't know where the principal is, to the buyer. So agent is raising invoice to the buyer. When agent is raising invoice to the buyer, then agent is acting on behalf of principal. Now between the principal and the agent, it will become supply. Now what if principal only raises invoice to the buyer? Principal only raises invoice to the buyer. Then agent is not raising, means agent is a mere agent. so he is not acting on behalf of principal. Now when principal is sending the goods to the agent, it will not become supply. So in order to not attract supply, so the agent should be what type of agent? A mere agent, not a agent acting on behalf of principal. Okay, and more details about this we have a circular and there we will be learning, but right now you need to remember 4 activities which will be coming under supply 71C. So what are the 4 activities pa? D, R, I, P. D for disposal of business asset on which ITC has been availed. Then R, related party transactions including transaction between distinct persons. I, import of services from a related person or another establishment located outside India. P, principal agent transactions. Remember, principal agent transaction with respect to goods only, with respect to goods, not services. You can see principal agent transaction is with respect to goods. You can see this information or comparison between this in the next page. In the next page, you can see the summary related to this. Yes. It will come. I'll explain. It will come. So I just gave you a discussion, but it will come in detail in the subsequent pages. Today itself we will be discussing that. So just 15 minutes you wait. Okay. It will come in detail. So 71A, any activity, nature of supply, any activity, and is consideration essential for 71A? Yes. Whether it should be in the course or furtherance of business? Yes. And from whose perspective we need to see 71A? Supplier perspective. And what is covered in this? Goods as well as services. So there is no restriction. Everything is covered. 71AA, any activity between a person other than individual and its members. Consideration? Yes. In the course or furtherance of business? Of course, yes. Because we are talking about a person other than individual. Person other than individual means why there will be personal. So therefore, definitely it will be in the course or furtherance of business. And then from whose perspective? Again from the supplier perspective. And coverage both goods and services. So the only difference is 71A is any activity between any persons, whereas 71AA is any activity between a person other than individual and its members. Then 71B, import of services and consideration? Yes. In the course of furtherance of business? May or may not be, yes or no. From whose perspective we need to see 71B? Recipient perspective. What is it covered? Only services. Why import of goods is not covered here? Only import of services is covered because import of goods is a subject matter under Customs Act. Customs not subsumed into GST yet. So due to that reason, import of goods is not given here because on import of goods the levy is as per Customs Act. That's why we have only import of services here. Then 71C, DRIP, in all these cases consideration not required, not necessary. And in case of D, nowhere we have seen that it should be in the course or furtherance of business. What is the D? Disposal of business asset on which ITC availed. Whether that disposal should be in the course or furtherance of business or not, it is not given. So what is in the course or furtherance of business, not in the course or furtherance of business there? So I gave you an example. I purchased the AC and that AC at the time of purchase GST paid I have taken as ITC, and that AC I donated it to an orphanage. This donation to an orphanage is not in the course or furtherance of my business, correct? Even then it will become supply under 71C. Whereas instead of donating it to an orphanage, I may give it for free to my employee also. Possible? I can give it for free because lot of corporates what they do, so whenever they are replacing the computers and all, so they will be giving it to their employees for free. Like 2-3 years they will depreciate fully and they will replace the laptops and replace the computers. So they will be, as a policy, they will tell to their employees like if you want you can enroll and we will be giving you that system, old system for free. So that in their relatives or wherever place for education purposes they can be using that particular old systems and all. So this freely which is given to employee is a part of employee welfare, correct? Now in this case, is it in the course or furtherance of my business? Of course yes. So the disposal of business asset may or may not be in the course or furtherance of business. What you need to see is it a business asset? Are you disposing of the business asset on which ITC has been availed? That's it. Okay. So may or may not be. And from whose perspective we will be seeing this disposal of business asset? Supplier point of view. And the coverage is only goods, because they use the word disposal of business asset. The moment asset means it will be definitely goods. Then R for related party transaction, including transaction between distinct persons. Should it be in the course or furtherance of business? Yes. Again, from whose perspective? Supplier point of view. What is covered? Both goods as well as services. Then I, import of service from a related person. Should it be in the course or furtherance of business? Yes. Definitely import of service from a related person in the course or furtherance of business. And again, from whose perspective? Recipient. Everything is from supplier point of view only. Only in the place of import of services we need to see it from the recipient point of view. Is it clear? So if you see 7.1b also recipient point of view, 7.1c import of service also recipient point of view. Again here, what is the coverage? Goods or services? Only services is covered but not goods. And P, principal agent transaction. Should it be in the course or furtherance of business? Yes. Whose perspective? Supplier, but the coverage is only goods. Principal agent transaction in the context of services is not covered under 7.1c. So it should be only goods. So these are the points which will help you when you are applying this in the question. So you will get a situation and like some transactions, some list of some 5-10 transactions will be there. In the transactions, you need to compute the GST payable. But when you compute the GST payable, the first aspect that we need to check in each and every transaction is it supply or not a supply? Because only when the activity becomes supply, you have to pay the GST. That too if it is taxable. If it is exempted, you don't have to pay. What if the service itself is not a supply or the product itself is not covered under supply? Then we don't have to pay GST. Are you understanding this? So this point we generally miss in the exam. So what we will see is taxable or exempted only we will be seeing. But basic, that is it supply or not, we will miss sometimes. So that's why this will be helpful. Okay. Next. So here we need to understand certain points related to this. That is, first we will see the meaning of goods. So please take page number 76. So what we have completed so far is inclusions. 7 subsection 1 inclusions we saw, 4 activities, and when it will become supply, those conditions and all we saw. Now in that we have some important definitions like what is the meaning of goods, what is the meaning of services, what is the meaning of related persons, what is the meaning of distinct persons, then again consideration means what. So every term is defined, so that terms only we are discussing here. Okay. So look into the first definition, goods. Goods is defined under section 2 clause 52. You don't have book, ma? Not yet collected. Okay, fine. So goods defined under section 2 clause 52. So goods means any kind of movable property. Of course, yes, immovable property will not be called as goods. So any kind of movable property, and it includes actionable claims, growing crops and things attached to a farming part of land agreed to be severed under a contract of supply. What is actionable claims means? Actionable claims means an instrument that should satisfy 4 conditions. Then it will be called as an actionable claim. I'll give you examples first. Bills of exchange, bill of exchange, then promissory note, lottery ticket, and then bearer check. These are all examples of actionable claim. In all these actionable claims, number 1, you have a right to receive a benefit or recover a debt. For example, you take bill of exchange. The moment you have a bill of exchange, you have right to recover the debt, correct? If you have a lottery ticket, you have right to receive the benefit. And is this right transferable? Yes. You can transfer it to any other person. Can you transfer the bill of exchange? Yes. You can endorse it now, and you can transfer the lottery ticket. Yes. Then the holder of that instrument is entitled to receive the benefit or recover the debt. For example, you have got a lottery ticket. and you give it to some other person. So now that particular lottery ticket has got the prize money awarded. Now whomsoever is holding the lottery ticket, he will be having the right to collect that prize money, and it is legally enforceable. So in the court of law, so we can definitely get the justice if the benefit is not received or the debt is not recovered. For example, bill of exchange, and the person has dishonored, he did not pay. Now can you go to the court of law? Yes, and you will get the justice, so with respect to your recovery. So this is known as an actionable claim. So what are the 4 ingredients to become an actionable claim? That instrument should have a right to receive a benefit or recover a debt. Number 2, legally enforceable. You can see that below that itself I have given, legally enforceable. And number 3, can be transferred from one person to another person, and the holder of that right is entitled to receive the benefit or recover the debt. So then it will be called as actionable claim, and actionable claims are covered under goods. Okay, then look into the second part in the goods inclusion definition. Growing crops, grass or things attached to a farming part of land agreed to be severed. Severed means what? Cut. Under the contract of supply. Means at the time when we enter into contract, it is immovable in nature. For example, I have some 10 acres of teak wood plantation. Teak wood. And the teak wood so has grown. And now I want to cut it and sell. But I don't want to cut it and keep it ready for sale. So it is in the attached to land, so in the plantation form. So now I am approaching various buyers and I am telling, so this is the plantation, if you want I will cut it and give it to you, and you entered into contract with me. As per the contract, I have agreed to deliver after 3 months. Say this is rainy season, you don't want me to deliver it now, and after 3 months, so in the summer season you wanted me to cut it and deliver, but the contract is entered today and you have made the payment today. As on today, I transferred literally the title to you because I collected the money, only the delivery is pending. So is it goods or not is the question. As on today, it is immovable in nature because it is attached to earth, but under the contract I agree to cut it and deliver, so therefore it is deemed as goods only. That is this: growing crops, grass and things attached to a farming part of land agreed to be severed before supply or under a contract of supply. Then goods excludes money and securities. So money and securities are not treated as goods. So why securities are not treated as goods? Because on securities that is shares, debentures, mutual fund units, derivatives, everything will be coming under securities. Securities is not defined in GST because securities is as per Securities Contract Regulation Act. So equity shares, debentures, bonds, mutual funds, that will come under securities, on which we still have security transaction tax. STT is there, and that security transaction tax is not subsumed into GST. So for that reason, they don't want to bring securities into the ambit of GST. Furthermore, if securities and all is brought into the ambit of GST, no one will do trading. 18% you need to pay. Okay, your margin will not be 18% here. People who do in the intraday, derivative segment and all, what is the margin that they will be playing with? 2%, 3%, that is a margin they play, and majorly they see the volume. Sir, share 10 rupees per share if they are getting, for a 400 rupees share, 400 to 410, okay, 10 rupees I gained. So let's play on the volume. That's where they will be thinking. Now on that 400, if you pay 18%, so rather than getting the 10 rupees, you have to pay more than what you are getting as a gain. So good that they have not brought securities into the ambit of GST. So it is not covered under goods. Then money is also not treated as goods because it will be stupid to charge GST on money. For example, I have a 500 rupee note and no one is accepting this 500 rupee note. I want a change. So I approached you and I got a change for 500, and I gave you 500 rupee note and you gave me 500 rupee notes. So am I selling 500 rupee note and you are selling 100 rupee notes? No, it's not like that. So due to that reason, on money there is no GST. Got it? So money is defined under GST. Securities are not defined, but money is defined as per section 2 clause 75. So money means Indian currency or foreign currency or any instrument recognized by RBI, but money excludes so currency held for its numismatic value. Numismatic value means which is not in Indian legal tender as on today, which means it was in Indian legal tender, today it is not in Indian legal tender. So old notes, old coins and all will be coming under currency held for numismatic value. Now listen, I am selling some old coins or old currency notes. Is it covered under goods? Sale of old coins and old currency notes, is it covered under goods? Yes. Why? Simple. Is it movable? Is it movable? Yes. And is it covered under money definition? No. So if it is covered under money definition, it is not goods. But it is not covered under money definition because money excludes old currency. So therefore it will not come under money definition. And as it is movable, it will be coming under goods. Goods minus is money. Money minus is old currency. Minus into minus plus. You understood or not? An exclusion to the exclusion is inclusion. So therefore sale of old coins or sale of old currency notes will come under sale of goods. Then next, sale of cryptocurrency, bitcoins or Ethereum coins, Raven coins, there are a lot of cryptocurrencies. So sale of this cryptocurrency, will it come under sale of goods? Exactly. So cryptocurrency is not recognized by RBI. Any instrument which is not recognized by RBI will not come under goods. Will not come under money. As it is not coming under money, so it will be treated as goods. But sir, cryptocurrency, how can you say that it is movable in nature? Of course it is movable. Only thing, it is not tangible. It is movable, transferable, wallet to wallet we can transfer. So you have a wallet, I have a wallet, and I can just scan your wallet and I can transfer the cryptocurrency to you. Very easy. And this is movable actually. Movable don't understand tangible. Movable can be tangible or intangible. Okay. So which means all intangibles also will come under goods. Yes. Patents, copyrights, etc. also will be coming under goods, because nowhere it is given that it should be a tangible movable property. They said it should be a movable property, means it includes even intangibles. Okay. So just write down includes intangibles. Then, so from this, what is that we can understand? Sale of old coins, sale of old coins or sale of crypto treated as sale of goods. Sale of old coins or sale of crypto treated as sale of goods. Okay. So this is about goods definition. So what is it? First, goods definition divided into three parts, means includes, excludes. Goods excludes money and securities. Okay. Goods means any kind of movable property. Goods includes two: actionable claims, growing crops, things attached to earth which are agreed to be served under a contract of supply. Simple. Actionable claim, 4 ingredients: right to receive a benefit or recover a debt, legally enforceable, transferable, holder of the right is entitled to receive benefit or recover a debt. Then money defined, means includes, excludes. Money means Indian currency or foreign currency, includes any instrument recognized by RBI, excludes currency held for numismatic value. Securities not defined. So general meaning of securities we need to take. So as per Security Contract Regulation Act. Now if you see bill of exchange, Is it an instrument recognized by RBI? Is bill of exchange an instrument recognized by RBI? Yes. So it is recognized by Contract Act, Negotiable Instruments Act. So therefore, it will be coming under instrument recognized by RBI. Bill of exchange is an instrument recognized by RBI. Now, instrument recognized by RBI is money, correct? If it is money, it is excluded from goods. But it will also come under actionable claims, so it will be covered under goods. How the same will be excluded from goods as well as included in goods? The same problem happened with respect to bearer check. Bearer check is an instrument recognized by RBI. Of course, check is an instrument recognized by RBI. And is it an actionable claim? Yes. First, you have a bearer check, right to receive a benefit, transferable. Whomsoever is holding that bearer check, he will get the money. And it is legally enforceable. So, which means it is an actionable claim also. Then, we need to make a harmonious interpretation here. Those actionable claims which are recognized by RBI, as it is covered under money definition, it will not be treated as goods. But the remaining actionable claims will be treated as goods. So, this is based on the harmonious interpretation in the law, we make this interpretation. You understood or not? Because when you see from the money point of view, it is excluded. When you see from the actionable point of view, actionable claims point of view, it is included. So that's why this harmonious interpretation needs to be made. So you can see that in the next page, 77, actionable claims covered under the definition of money. So what are covered under definition of money? That is bill of exchange, promissory note, bearer check. So it is neither goods nor services. So even service definition also excludes money. You can see below that services also excludes money and securities. Service is defined under section 2 clause 1 or 2. So therefore money and securities is neither goods nor services. And that's why those actionable claims which are covered under money definition will not come under goods or services. Understood? So what are those actionable claims which are covered under money definition? Bill of exchange, promissory note, bearer check. Okay. Remaining actionable claims will be considered as goods. Okay. And thereafter further discussion, this we will see later because it is connected to exclusions from supply. Okay. Now, so that is about this. Then what is the difference between this first point in the actionable claims and the last point in the actionable claims? Simple. You have the right to receive a benefit or recover a debt. The moment you transfer it, whomsoever is holding that right, that person who is holding that right is going to receive the benefit or recover the debt. For example, I purchased the lottery ticket, but that lottery ticket missed from me and it landed in your hands. Okay, or I transferred it to you. Okay, now in that case, so the person who is buying the lottery ticket is entitled to receive the benefit, or the person who is holding the lottery ticket now is entitled to receive the benefit. The person who is holding the lottery ticket is entitled to receive the benefit. Okay, so it's like, you know, lot of times when you go to Kerala, there will be like in railway station or bus stop, everywhere. So lot of lottery dealers will be coming and selling you lottery tickets, and they will be telling you, buy this ticket sir, so definitely prize money will come, 1 crore will come, 2 crores will come, etc. and all. You know what will be the lottery ticket rate? So 100 rupees or 200 rupees like that. Now that they can only invest now. If they are pretty much sure that that is going to get 1 crore or 2 crore rupees, that 100 rupees, 200 rupees, we can pay them. Okay, enjoy. 100 rupees you keep, the ticket you keep, and if you get 1 crore, happily stay. So definitely no. And these dealers, even though you know they know that this ticket they will be getting, etc., all these are humbug. So you cannot determine as to which lottery ticket, so they will be getting the prize money, and randomly it will be. So therefore these people, they will be selling the lottery tickets. When they sell the lottery tickets, but they have the numbers of these lottery tickets which and all will be sold. Suppose if they got the prize money, can the dealer say, sir, I only purchased first, so give the prize money to me? No. So the person will ask, bring the lottery ticket. So lottery ticket I don't have. When I don't have the lottery ticket, how will I get the prize money? That is the difference between the first point and the last point. Then first I got the right. The moment I transferred it, whomsoever is holding that instrument, that person will have the right. Then services is defined under section 2 clause 102. All the definitions are in section 2 only. So 2 clause 52 is goods and 2 clause 102 is services. Services also excludes money and securities. Service means what? Any activity other than goods. Now sometimes when we are lazy to define, so we will bring like this. Anything other than goods is service. And because of this, what happened, sale of land and sale of building will become service. How? Sale of land, sale of building is immovable. Immovable is not goods. Anything other than goods is service. Now what kind of awkward definition? Sale of land and sale of building is service. Okay. Sale of business is service. How sale of business is service? Sale of business, merger, acquisition, etc. and all, it is not goods. Why it is not goods? Because business, sale of business, how it is movable? Because the moment when we sell the business, it includes everything, all assets that may be movable or immovable. So it is not goods. Anything other than goods will become service. So superb definition. Service means anything other than goods, and it includes two. Transaction in money for a separate consideration. So transaction in money is excluded from the goods definition as well as service definition. But what is this transaction in money for a separate consideration? I am coming back to the same example. I have 500 rupee note. I gave you 500 rupee note, and you gave me 400 rupee notes and 150 rupee note. So because circulation is very, very less and everyone is having 500 rupee notes only, now you will be taking 50 rupees because it happened, practically it happened. 2000 rupee notes, September 30th was the last date, and it's like September mid itself, lot of people stopped collecting it, and somewhere on September 25th like that, my wife was clearing her wardrobe and she has identified 10 2000 rupee notes. Okay, now because usually we'll have this habit to preserve it. Okay, so she preserved somewhere in the wardrobe and she said, so I got 2000 rupee notes, right? 20,000 rupees here, I cannot just like that leave, and I went to petrol bunk. Petrol bunk is the place to change this. Okay, I went to petrol bunk and they said, sir, no sir, we cannot accept. I said, see boss, 30th only date, you take it. So I did not ask him to fill the petrol. If I asked him to fill the petrol, he would have done. I asked him to give it in cash. Okay, then he said, sir, okay sir, but 5% commission sir. Okay, take. Otherwise the entire 20,000 will be gone and I have to put it in the bank. Then if I put it in the bank, that will become my income. So we cannot make it as our income and all, not necessarily. So therefore 5% I have given him and I took that. Okay, and this is just for examples purpose I am telling you. Camera is there. So therefore this 5% whatever that petrol bunk fellow has collected is the additional consideration. Correct or not? So currency converted from one denomination to another denomination is a transaction in money, but that is for a separate consideration. Now it will become service. What becomes service here? That 5% commission what he gets is the service, not the entire amount involved in the transaction is service. He gets a commission or extra consideration, right? So that extra consideration is treated as service. That is this transaction in money for a separate consideration. One more example also we will see. Usually when we recharge this wallet, Paytm wallet, we are recharging, and there is some 3000 rupees in Paytm wallet, and we need to transfer that to your bank account, because if it is in Paytm wallet, we cannot withdraw in the form of cash. So therefore you need to transfer to your bank account. Once you transfer to your bank account, then you can use ATM card to withdraw that. And suppose 3000 rupees fully you can transfer to your bank account without 1 rupee deduction also, then it is a pure transaction in money. Suppose if the Paytm says you have to pay 2% for the purpose of converting your wallet to bank account, that 2% will become the additional consideration and that will become service. You understood? From one form to another form. What is the form here? Previously it was in the form of wallet, electronic, and now it is converted into cash. So this conversion from one denomination to another denomination, one form to another form, so if it involves any additional consideration, that will become services. Then next, facilitating or arranging transaction in securities. Transaction in securities, again neither goods nor services, but I am not selling the shares, but I am facilitating the sale of shares, means I am a stockbroker. So I get a commission or brokerage, that will come under supply of services. You are selling, boss. So for you it is transaction in securities, but I am an intermediary who is facilitating this transaction in securities. I collect some brokerage, so that will come under facilitating or arranging transaction in securities. So again, who will be covered under this? Apart from stockbroker, even depositories also will be covered. Depositories, those who maintain the demat account, so they are also covered here. Even underwriting commission also covered. Underwriting commission at the time of IPO, so they get some underwriting commission. All these are coming under facilitating or arranging transaction in securities. That is included. So tell me, what is the service definition? Come on. Service means anything other than goods. Excludes money and securities. Then includes two. Related to money, 1 point. Transaction in money for a separate consideration. Related to securities, 1 point. Facilitating or arranging transaction in securities. So we completed goods definition and services definition. And along with that, money definition also we have seen. So come back to so the detailed discussion related to that I have given in page number 20. Suppose in case if you want to know detailed information about that, I have just given the reference here. Okay. So extra points like what is the meaning of securities as per Security Contract Regulation Act, and the further analysis, whatever I have discussed, all those points I have given here, page number 20 and 21. Okay. Done? Then next, we are moving on to the next definition. See the next definition, that is consideration. Consideration is defined under section 2 clause 31, page number 77. Consideration includes, consideration excludes. So consideration means what? Basically something in return, quid pro quo, something in return. And this consideration should be monetary or it can be non-monetary also, both monetary or non-monetary. Non-monetary can be again in the form of goods or in the form of services. Not necessary that non-monetary should be in the form of goods only. It can be in the form of goods or it can be in the form of services. For example, I am taking classes for you, and each and every one should get me, like 100 kgs of rice. Okay. So what is it? Like this transaction consideration is in what form? Goods. Okay. Then, so activity can also be there as consideration. That is, I'll be taking class for you, no need to pay fees, but you need to go outside and promote me that Tarun sir, amazingly he take indirect tax class, like him no one can take. So like that and all you should. But my survival is not like that. Okay. So I'm just telling you for example only. Don't think, okay, whatever we heard from many people is like this only. No, definitely not. I'm collecting fees. Okay. So consideration is there, monetary form. But some people will be there, they will be doing this only. Okay. I am not telling about any specific person, you don't attach any name to this, okay. And they, they will be telling, wow, amazing faculty, God only will be coming and taking class, like that and all, students will be telling. And they are forced to tell that way, okay, because they will be getting some discount in the fees or they may be getting some waiver in the fees, etc. And this is also consideration. How? Marketing. Marketing is actually an activity, service. So that is also consideration. Therefore, consideration can be monetary, non-monetary. Non-monetary, again, it can be in the form of goods or in the form of services. But this consideration should be in respect of, in response to, or for the inducement of supply of goods or services. You can see that wording below. Consideration should be in respect of, in response to, or for inducement of supply of goods or services. What is the meaning of inducement of? Inducement of, usually in movie industry it will happen, wherein there will be one person who wanted to become hero all of a sudden, and that person is having lot of money, rich person he is, of some grandfather's age, but wanted to become hero, and he will be asking some heroines to act next to him, but the heroines will say, no, no, sorry grandpa, I cannot act next to you, so forgive me. But so this person will not live, because the people around him will be telling, sir, you age is just a number, sir, okay, you act, sir. And therefore what this person, because of the money power is there, so he will tell, okay, to the heroine he will tell, I will give one shop to you, you act next to me, okay. So now giving this shop as an inducement to make her sign the movie is also consideration. After signing the movie, the heroine anyhow will get the remuneration, that is in respect of. You understood? The remuneration received by the actress is in respect of service, whereas to make her sign the movie, so inducement, gift and all will be given, so that will be coming under inducement of. Both are considerations. Then in response to, so this also we see in movie industry. Usually what will happen, whenever a movie becomes super hit and all, so producer will be giving car, luxury cars and all to hero, music director, no, correct or not, and helicopter is pending to our Vijayanna, and it will come soon. So therefore these gifts which are given by the producer to the hero or music director will come under in response to. Why? So simple, sir. If you have not acted in that movie, will you get the car? No. Means that car is literally your consideration for acting. In response to your acting in the movie, you got that as consideration. Are you understanding? And even, you know, one hero got Rolex watch also for acting as Rolex. So that Rolex watch will become consideration, yes, because it is in response to. So what should have happened, you know, between four walls, the watch should have been given as gift. Now you will bring the cameraman and all, and you will give the watch, producer of the movie will give the watch to the hero. So wear it like that. And that and all camera when you take, and they will put it in the social media. Not only you, GST department also will watch social media, okay. Tomorrow, if actor Surya is not reporting this Rolex watch in his consideration, he will get a notice. Why? Because you got this watch as a consideration. That watch is 50 lakhs worth watch, okay. So 50 lakhs is your consideration, and you should have included that in your GST return, and you should pay the GST. If he is not including that, he will get a notice for that, okay. Between four walls means no one will know, pa. That's what I am telling. So in response to, only if it is known, definitely we have to. Otherwise, between two people, when the gift is given, it will not be known also, okay. So usually between boy and girl, how the gifts will be exchanged, like that it should be exchanged. We should not put publicly everything. You understood? I got this as a gift. So don't create evidences, okay. So because in future these evidences will become, you know, reasons for getting notices, okay. So in respect of, in response to, or for the inducement of. Understood? In respect of is normal. I am taking classes, fees is 7,500 plus GST, that 7,500 is in respect of. Then suppose if I am taking classes and I am not fixing any fees, and I keep one bowl outside, and after class you have to put some money in that bowl and go. Now whatever money collected in that bowl will come under in response to. Okay, very good. You are following the subject nicely. Then activity, then in that case, sir, beggar whatever money we put in the bowl, will it come under consideration or not? That is not for any supply, darling. There is no supply involved there. Okay. Yes, that is consideration to him, but to become consideration, it should be for supply of goods or services. What goods or services that beggar is giving to you? Nothing. Okay. So suppose if you make him sing a song and if you put money, it will become activity for consideration. Why? Because he is singing, because of that, in response to that you are putting the money. So therefore it will be coming under consideration. You understood? So you will not leave beggars also, you will tax them. And then activity without consideration or consideration without activity is not a supply. From this only I am telling you, just because there is consideration, first of all, to involve consideration, there should be supply of goods or services. Mere consideration without involving any activity is not a supply. Example, donations. Donations which are received by any trust or temple or political party, etc. Is it conditional or unconditional? Unconditional. So political party donations should be unconditional. Okay, should be. If it is conditional, gone. Okay, that's a crime. So it should be unconditional, because they cannot accept donation and they cannot do something in return for that. Okay. Same way, temple donation is also unconditional donation. So whether we will tell to the temple, see, if I am giving you this money, you should do this in return. No, you cannot. But sometimes there can be conditional also in temple. How? I'll give money, you put my name. God name also you put somewhere, but my name only should come. Okay. So therefore this will be coming under conditional donation. But I am not talking about conditional donation. I am talking about which donation? Unconditional donation. So because the words used here is consideration should be in respect of, in response to, or for inducement of supply of goods or services. So just because I got some money, I cannot treat it as supply, because there should be some activity against that. That is the meaning of activity without consideration or consideration without activity. So far I have been discussing about consideration without activity. What is activity without consideration? Freebies, like free activities, charities, etc. In that there is no consideration, right? Say for example, you are pursuing your CA final, and the moment your relatives comes to know that you are doing CA, and freely they will ask you to file the income tax return and all, correct? Yes, you did not. Lot of free advices they will be asking you, and never start a practice and tell to your relatives that you started a practice. Okay, so because your relatives will not pay, they will not pay. Don't have recommendations and all in this business. Okay, so reason being, they will tell, my friend only, my relative only, so you come, he will do it for free only, and we cannot charge also. So these kind of services without actually involving any consideration is not a supply. Activity is there. You are filing an income tax return, some 500 rupees at least you should get, that also you are not getting. Freely you are doing that service, so there is no supply in that case. So consideration includes monetary or non-monetary, but consideration excludes two. Subsidy from central government or state government is not treated as consideration. So what is subsidy generally? Subsidy, guaranteed payment or gracious payment? Guaranteed or gracious? Gracious, which means there is no compulsion. There is no compulsion. Example, LPG subsidy. We all got the LPG subsidy in the past. Okay, and that's where one big campaign also Prime Minister conducted. So that is, please surrender your LPG subsidy so that poor people can afford to get a gas, like that and all, happened. Today what happened to the LPG subsidy? We don't know. We are not getting. Can we question? No. The moment they use the word subsidy, you cannot question that. Okay. So this subsidy which you are getting as a gracious payment will be not treated as consideration if it is received from central government or state government. Can it be received from any other person? Yes. It can be received from any other person also, but that will be treated as consideration. I'll give you one example of subsidy from other than CG or SG. CG, SG normal, but other than CG or SG, usually some beneficial parties will be giving this subsidy. Example, MRF, which is a tire manufacturer, will be giving subsidy to the car manufacturer with respect to the tires purchased from MRF if the car manufacturer is using the MRF tires. Okay, why? Today, say Suzuki cars, Maruti Suzuki cars is using MRF tires, and you purchase one Swift car you purchase, and it has MRF tires, and 3 years you will be using. Definitely the life of the tire in Chennai roads and all will be hardly 3 years, because it will get punctured and wear and tear, everything happens. So say you are replacing the tire, because nowadays it is tubeless tire na. Tubeless tire means completely the tire needs to be replaced. When you replace, will you replace MRF tire or Apollo tire or Bridgestone tire? MRF tire only. Why? Because 3 tires are MRF, the 4th cannot be some other brand. You will replace the same tire. So that's where the future business of this tire manufacturer is in. You got it? That's why they are telling you use our tires, we will give you subsidy. 2000 rupees we will give you subsidy. So this subsidy is received by car manufacturer from the tire manufacturer. It is not from CG or SG, it is from other than CG or SG. Will it become consideration? Yes, it will become consideration. One example for subsidy from CG, SG is this electric vehicles. There is a subsidy which is given by central government to the car or two-wheeler dealers. So I am selling a two-wheeler, electric two-wheeler or electric car, I'll get a subsidy from the government, central government. It should not be treated as consideration. Then consideration excludes refundable security deposit. Refundable security deposits, example, when you take a property on rent, the 6 months rent you will pay as security deposit. Whether that security deposit is refundable or non-refundable in nature. Refundable in nature, so that will not be treated as consideration. What if it is a non-refundable security deposits? For LPG connection, we have to pay a non-refundable security deposit. To get the gas connection, we should pay some 2500 rupees as a non-refundable fees. So this non-refundable security deposit will be treated as consideration. That's the reason why people, when they want to surrender the connection, they will not surrender. They will sell the gas cylinder for 2000 rupees to some other person. So because they know that if they surrender also, they will not get any amount. So at least they can sell off this gas cylinder. So that's why they will do. So these are non-refundable deposits, that is treated as consideration. Actually, this refundable security deposit is a loophole in the law. How? For example, you take Jio. Jio, what they did, they came out with a basic mobile. 1499 you pay, you will get the mobile, you use it, and after 3 years you return the mobile, you will get the refund of 1499. Okay. Now, is this 1499 treated as consideration or not? No, which means no GST on that. Moreover, these mobiles will not be treated as sales. So, which means it is still the asset of Jio, and they can claim depreciation also under Income Tax Act. Got it? And even their base also has increased. And after 3 years, the person, what if he is not coming and returning that particular mobile? So that they did not tell. You return it and you take, means it is refundable only. They never said it is non-refundable. So it is refundable. Whenever you are coming and surrendering that, we will return that 1499. So it's a loophole literally, correct? Entire amount, whatever number of crores that they have collected, there is no GST on that. And actually, I can also do this, okay? So what is our fees? 7500 now. Now you give me 1,50,000, okay, deposit 1,50,000, and what I will do, so after you clear CA final, I will refund that amount, okay, or I will keep a time limit also, don't worry, 1 year or CA final, whichever is earlier, okay. So therefore definitely you will not clear in 1 year, and 1,50,000 I will be refunding it to you. Now in this 1 year, I earn interest. So what is the interest? Easily 7.5 minimum FD. I will be able to generate FD return, correct? So 1,50,000 into 7.5%, 11,250. I'll be very happy. You understood or not? And moreover, I don't have to pay GST also. Why? Sir, 1,50,000 is refundable security deposit and no GST payable on that. And this 11,250 is FD interest, which is exempted. Interest on fixed deposits is exempted. Interest on loans, advances and deposits is exempted. We have an exemption related to that. Interest on loans, advances or deposits. So I make a fixed deposit and I get an interest on that. I don't have to pay GST on that. It may be my income, but I don't have to pay GST on that. I have to pay only income tax. Anyhow, I have to pay income tax. Normal fees also have to pay income tax. This also have to pay income tax. That is indifferent. But GST no need to pay na. So for you also it will be happy. So therefore we can bring this scheme. Yes, we can definitely. That's what loophole I was talking about. So refundable security deposits is excluded from the meaning of consideration. Now tell me what is consideration for includes? Monetary, non-monetary. And non-monetary can be in the form of goods or services. But this monetary or non-monetary should be in respect of, in response to or for inducement of supply of goods or services. And consideration excludes two: subsidy from CGRSG, refundable security deposits. Then see the next point, consideration can be received from recipient or any other person. What we need to see is only the presence of the consideration. How consideration will be received from any other person? Example, I am a car dealer. You purchased a car from me and I am giving you the after sale service. Free after sale service. Is it really free? Why? At the time when you purchase the car, so this free after sale service charges is included in that car price itself. And when I do the free after sale service, I will not collect any amount from you, but from the manufacturer of the car, I will get the money. I am a dealer. So I am also having an authorized service center. So the moment when I do the free service, after sale service, I will collect a coupon from you. Correct? So the moment I collect the coupon from you, that I will redeem with my manufacturer and I will be getting a charge for that. So here, who is my recipient? You. But I am not getting money from you. I will get money from some other person. So that's what presence of consideration is sufficient. Not necessary that you should be getting the consideration from the recipient. Yet another example. I am supplying services to subsidiary company, but holding company is making the payment to me. So actually my recipient is subsidiary company, but who is making the payment? Holding company. So is it treated as consideration? Yes. So consideration can be received from recipient or any other person. What we need to see is only the presence of consideration. Then related to these donations, you can see in the next page, donations are divided into two: conditional donations and unconditional donations. That's what I have been discussing. What is conditional donation means? You have an obligation to do something in return against that donation. That is known as conditional donation. I gave you example na, like usually people who donate in the temple, they will insist the temple to put their name, or if they give some money for this free food serving to the poor people and all, there also their name will be displayed. So and so person's name, on behalf of so and so person, we are doing the annadana, like that they will be telling. So this is actually a conditional donation because you are insisting them to do something for you. So obligation against that money receipt. Okay. So it's a conditional donation. Obligation on supplier to do something, then it is treated as consideration. To do something means not in general, to do something to that person who gave the donation. Example, majority of the donations are for a purpose only. Otherwise it is called as begging. If I come and say, I should tell now for what? Otherwise it is literally begging. I should tell, sir, I am constructing one study hall for CA students. freely to sit and study. For that I need money. Purpose. Now is it conditional donation? No, why it is not conditional donation? I am constructing it, but I am not giving any benefit to you. You understood or not? If I need to do something in return to you when I am taking money, then it is conditional donation. But for a particular purpose, when I collect, almost all donations are collected for a purpose only. Are you getting this? So therefore, this will be coming under unconditional donation. Suppose if you say, okay, I will give you 2 lakh rupees, but on the chair where the students are sitting, my name should be written. Like that you put the condition. Okay, what kind of desire that you have, I don't know, but you want me to write the name on the every chair. Okay, now in this case, you are giving me an obligation to do something for you, then it will become a conditional donation. Okay, then so conditional donation is treated as consideration, but unconditional donation not treated as consideration. So consequently, conditional donation becomes supply and unconditional donation is not a supply. Is it clear? So what is conditional donation means? The person who is receiving the donation is having an obligation to do something in return to the person who is giving donation. Is it treated as consideration? Yes. Under which category it will come under consideration? In response to supply of goods or services. Will it become supply? Yes, it will become supply under 7(1)(a). Unconditional donation. There is no obligation on the person who is receiving the donation to do something in return to that person. So then it will be treated as consideration. No, as there is no consideration, the question of supply does not arise unless it is covered under 7(1)(c). 7(1)(a) will not come, but it may be covered under 7(1)(c). Now there is a peculiar case. I did not have the obligation to put your name. You did not insist me, but as a gratitude I have shown your name. Usually if you see donors list, like that we will display. So you take ICI, so ICI also will display donors list. Some temples also will display donors list, hospitals will display donors list. But this is not because of the mandatory requirement by the person who is giving donation, but as a gratitude. I collect donation, I have to show your names, so I am showing your name. Conditional or unconditional? Unconditional. Why? You did not put obligation on me. As a gratitude, I display the name. Unconditional. But what name I am displaying? I display a name that gives you business advantage. I display a name that gives you business advantage. Then it is deemed as conditional donation. For example, donated by Paras Jain. Okay. So it is what? Unconditional donation. I displayed the name of an individual. Donated by Paras Jain, proprietor Messrs. Jain Jewelers. Now deemed as conditional donation. So the display of name gives business advantage to the donor, then it will be deemed as conditional donation. Then sir, when you display a company name, automatically there is a business advantage now sir. Individual name only we will have this classification. So individual name may or may not give the business advantage. But the moment we display a company name, by default there is a business advantage, not necessary. If the name of the company is different from the trade name or brand name of the company, then if you display the legal name of the company, there is no business advantage. Example, Fangs Technologies Private Limited is the company which owns Vivo. Vivo is there na, mobiles, Vivo. That Vivo company name is Fangs Technologies Private Limited. Now, if I display the name Fangs donated by Fangs Technologies Private Limited, is there any business advantage or not? No. But if I mention donated by Fangs Technologies Private Limited in brackets Vivo, I am giving a business advantage, so therefore it will be treated as conditional donation. Same way, you would have heard about this Unacademy, like that one platform, one edtech. Okay, so this Unacademy company name is Sorting Hat Technologies Private Limited. So that's a company name. The brand name is Unacademy. Even Byju's, brand name only Byju's, but the company name is something else. Okay, Book My Show also, company name is only Book My Show, but the company name is something else. Okay, so usually these startups and all, they will not get these trade names as their company names. It's not that easy. So they will incorporate a company with a legal name, and thereafter they create a brand, and for that brand they will get the trademark. Okay, so therefore in this case, if I display the legal name of the company but I am not giving any brand name, means there is no business advantage. The moment I mention the brand name, that's where business advantage is given. Okay, sometimes the company name itself is the brand name, like lot of public limited companies, so we'll be running the brand name as well as company name together. Example, Asian Paints Limited, MRF Limited, India Cements Limited. The company name as well as their brand name both will be same. Then in that case, the moment I display the company name itself, there is a business advantage. But individuals, we have that classification, we need to check. So for example, donated by Sachin Tendulkar, business advantage or not? No, because we may have a number of Sachin Tendulkars. Donated by Sachin Tendulkar in brackets cricketer, I am making specific to that person. Donated by Mr. Rajnikant. Again, Rajnikant is a common name, and maybe your father is Rajnikant fan, so maybe he might have kept your name as Rajnikant. Possible. Then in that case, lot of people are having Rajnikant. But if I mention Rajnikant actor, there is only one actor who is called as Rajnikant. So making it specific, so it will be coming under business advantage. Understood? So display of donor name in the premises out of gratitude but not as compulsion. If donor name is displayed anywhere in the premises against the donation, if individual name is displayed, there is no business advantage to the donor, not a supply. But if display of name gives advantage to the donor, then it will become supply under 7(1)(a) and it is treated as sponsorship services. Like usually sponsorship service, we display the brand name and or na, how it will be treated, the same way it will be considered. So this is about consideration definition given in 2 clause 31. So far what we have seen is goods definition, inclusions we have completed, then 3 definitions we have seen: goods, services and consideration. Related to consideration, there is one assignment, so you see that in page number 25, number 1, a football player is offered a branded car for making him to join in the club. Whether branded car is consideration? Yes. Why? Inducement of. Yes. Write down reason. Branded car is non-monetary consideration. Branded car is non-monetary consideration as an inducement to join club. Then number 2, a restaurant offered free meals to drivers of buses carrying passengers to bring potential customers to their restaurant. Whether offering free meals is consideration? Yes. In response to. In response to. Yes. Free meals is non-monetary consideration. In response to bringing customers. Then sir, from restaurant point of view, if you see, this is from the bus point of view. But what about the restaurant point of view? Restaurant is selling the meals, na? What is the consideration for them? Potential customers. So bringing potential customers is the consideration for them. So it's like a barter. Okay. Then number 3, a rich man donates a large sum of money to an orphanage without receiving any benefit in return. Whether such payment is consideration in the hands of the orphanage. Why? So this is not treated as consideration because there is no obligation on the person who is getting that money. So that orphanage is not having any obligation, correct? Unconditional donation are not treated as consideration. Then number 4, MTNL telecom service provider receives refundable security deposits from subscriber in connection with supply of telecom services. Whether such security deposit is consideration. Why? Refundable. Refundable security deposits are specifically excluded from the meaning of consideration. Next, number 5, Alankar Fashions placed an order with a textile company for purchase of 1000 numbers of jeans, and the textile company has asked the buyer to deposit 3 lakhs, which shall be adjusted against the payment to be made upon delivery of jeans. Whether such deposit is consideration in the hands of textile company? Yes. Why? Refundable. Non-refundable. As it is a non-refundable deposit, it is treated as consideration. Non-refundable deposits are treated as consideration. Okay. Take page number 85. Page number 85. We have discussed today principal agent transactions, where agent is acting on behalf of principal, then only it will become supply. Otherwise, it is not a supply between principal and the agent. So, when an agent is called as acting on behalf of principal, so agent should be representing the principal in all respects. Just see the before page. When agent is termed as acting on behalf of principal, when an agent will be called as acting on behalf of principal, the agent should represent the principal in all aspects, which means when he will represent, if it is a sale transaction, he should raise the invoice in his name, and if it is a purchase transaction, the purchase invoice should be in his name. Okay, so raise invoice in their name or accept invoice in their name, that is agent's name, then the agent is acting on behalf of principal. Simple pa? When the agent is acting on behalf of principal, if it is a sale transaction, they should raise the invoice in their name to the buyer. If it is a purchase transaction, so the purchase invoice should be in their name. Means literally they should not disclose who is the principal. Okay, that is what representing the principal in all aspects. For example, you are talking to a client on behalf of your principal, correct? Am I right? Will you represent your principal, or you will do everything on your own and you raise invoice in your name? No. You will definitely do majority of the work which your principal chartered accountant is required to do, but you will only do. Correct or not? In articleship, majority of the compliance work is done by you guys only. Registration means your principal will sit and do registration. Definitely not. You will only collect all the details and you will only do the registration. Now in that case, you will raise invoice in your name? Not supposed to. You can do that, but you are not supposed to. Okay. If you do the invoicing in your name, then you are an agent acting on behalf of principal, but you will not do that. So that is the meaning what I am telling as representing the principal. Sir, on behalf of him I am doing. Okay. So means he will only raise the invoice. I am not an agent acting on behalf of principal. Now see this example in the next page. There is a principal, there is an agent and there is a buyer. It's a sale transaction. Principal is sending the goods to the agent and the agent is delivering the goods to the buyer. It is constant. Principal is sending the goods to the agent is selling the goods to the buyer. Now what you need to see is that who raised the invoice to the buyer. So who raised the invoice? See the third point. Who raised the invoice? Principal has raised the invoice to the buyer, which means is agent acting on behalf of principal or not acting on behalf of principal? Agent not acting on behalf of principal. Now how many supplies are involved? 2 or 1? Only one supply. That is by principal to buyer, which is supply under 7(1)(a). Okay. Now between principal to agent, is there any supply in this case? No, not a supply. Principal sending the goods to agent is not a supply. Again, agent sending the goods to buyer is not a supply. There is only one supply by principal to the buyer, that is supply under 7(1)(a). Understood? Suppose if the invoice is raised by agent to the buyer, step number 5. If the invoice is raised by agent to the buyer, then agent is acting on behalf of principal. Now between principal to agent, is there a supply? Yes, under 7(1)(c). Between agent to buyer, as agent is raising invoice to the buyer, it is supply under 7(1)(a), and as agent is raising invoice in his name, so the principal sending the goods to the agent will become supply under 7(1)(c). Understood pa? So when the agent will be acting on behalf of principal, if the agent is raising invoice in his name to the buyer, then the principal sending the goods to the agent will become supply under 7(1)(c). Okay. Now in both the cases, agent will get commission. Whether agent is acting on behalf of principal or not acting on behalf of principal, in both the situations, agent will get commission. And that commission will become supply of service 7(1)(a) separately. That's a separate transaction. See the note. In both the situations, agent receive commission on which GST payable by agent, treating it as supply of service 7(1)(a). That's a different transaction. But what we are discussing here is about goods. But what about the commission that the agent is getting? That will always be a separate transaction independent of this. That will become supply of service 7(1)(a). Then, in the context of purchase transaction, you see, there is an importer who is located in Telangana, and Telangana is not a port city. So therefore, they cannot import any goods by waterways in Telangana. So therefore, they appointed one person as a customs house agent in Tamil Nadu for importing the goods in Chennai port, customs port in Chennai. Now, so this importer has asked the foreign seller to send the goods. Now the foreign seller is sending the goods to the customs port. CHA, customs house agent, clears these goods and delivers it to the importer. This is static. Foreign seller send the goods to customs port in Chennai, and CHA in Tamil Nadu clears the goods and transport the same to import in Telangana. Clear? Now, foreign seller is raising invoice in whose name? See step 3. Foreign seller is raising invoice in whose name? Agent's name or importer's name? Importer's name. Means agent is not acting on behalf of principal. When agent will be acting on behalf of principal? in sale transaction, invoice should be raised by the agent in his name, and in purchase transaction, the invoice should be in the name of the agent. Here invoice is in name of agent or not? No. So agent not acting on behalf of principal. Now when agent is sending the goods to the principal, is it supply or not a supply? Not a supply, because agent is not acting on behalf of principal. What if the foreign seller is raising invoice in the name of the agent? Then that agent is acting on behalf of principal. So when agent is sending the goods to the principal, it will become supply under 7(1)(c). Okay. Now, why will the invoice be in the name of agent? If the agent is only identifying the foreign seller. So importer will ask the agent not only to do the clearances but also to identify the foreign seller, place the order and get the goods. Now the agent will place the order, so foreign seller will think that, so he is the buyer, so the invoice will be raised in the name of the agent. Sometimes these agents, customs house agents, will be having licenses to import, trade licenses. So in case of import and export, there are some goods which are considered as restricted goods which requires a license. Without license you cannot import those goods. So these people will be having license. So importer, if they need to obtain a license, it will take time. So that's why we will ask them to import in their name. So in that case also, so the invoice will be in the name of the agent. You understood? Now in this case also, both these agents, that is whether acting on behalf of principal or not acting on behalf of principal, they get a commission. So that commission is a separate transaction, it will become supply under 7(1)(a). In both the situation, agent receive commission on which GST is payable by agent, treating it as supply under 7(1)(a). Now here you may get a doubt, sir, who will make payment to foreign seller? Any person can make payment to foreign seller. Agent can pay and in turn recover it from the importer, or importer can directly make the payment to the foreign seller. So that is no way connected here. Okay, what we need to see is invoice is in whose name. Invoice is in whose name, because payment can be made by any person. That's what we saw in consideration definition. Payment can be made by any person, but invoice is in whose name is only relevant. Okay, understood for this one? Yes. Now connected to this, we have one more aspect, that is taxability of interest earned by del creditor agent. First we will see taxability of interest income in GST. In today's class I told you this point also, that interest on loans, advances, deposits is exempted. So for example, a bank is giving a housing loan or a vehicle loan or a personal loan for which they get the interest, that interest is exempted. Same way, fixed deposit or term deposits or recurring deposits, we get a interest, that interest is also exempted. So interest on loans, advances, deposits is exempted, no need to pay GST. However, we have another interest, interest on account of delay in receipt of consideration. What is that? Like I raised the invoice to you, I gave a credit period of 3 months, you did not pay money within 3 months, then what I will do? I will charge interest to you. That interest is known as interest on account of delay in receipt of consideration, and that interest is not exempted. That interest will be taxable. Okay, you can see taxability of interest income, interest on loans, advances, deposits is exempted, whereas interest on account of delay in receipt of consideration is included in the value and chargeable to GST accordingly. Okay. Now here why I am discussing this taxability of interest income is because a del creditor agent, so somewhere in foundation consignment chapter you would have studied del creditor agent. So let's revisit that. Who is a del creditor agent? Who is a del creditor agent? He is also a consignment agent only, but what is special about him? He will bear the risk of bad debts. This is what you studied, correct? Why he will bear the risk of bad debts? Because the moment sale happens, he will make the payment to the consignor and later he will collect the money from the buyer. So if the buyer is not giving money to him, he should bear the risk of bad debts. Understood or not? But what a normal agent will do, he will collect the money from the buyer and thereafter he will deduct his commission and then he will remit that money to the principal. But a del creditor agent will not do that. Del creditor agent will first make the payment to the principal the moment sale happens, and he will be giving credit period to the buyer, and from the buyer he will be collecting extra interest. Okay, for example, I am a del creditor agent, you are my buyer, there is one principal. Okay pa, now I have made sale to you. The moment I made sale to you, I will make the payment to my principal, and I will recover money from you along with interest. Why interest? Because I am giving you a credit period, so for which I am getting some interest. Now, this interest, my argument will be what? So, this interest is like on loan, advances or deposits, I gave a finance facility to the buyer for which I collected this interest. So, this interest will be exempted. That will be my argument. But what will be department argument? No, this interest is not because of financing activity. You have given them a credit period, as there is a delay in receipt of consideration. This interest is collected, so pay GST on that. So this is the tug of war. So finally CBIC gave an interpretation. What is that they are telling? Check whether the agent is acting on behalf of principal or not. Now concentrate. You are my buyer na? I am raising invoice to you. I am raising invoice to you. Then who is the supplier to you? Del creditor agent or the principal? Del creditor agent. So when I collect the interest from you, that is on account of delay in receipt of consideration, so it will be taxable. Suppose if I am not raising invoice to you, my principal is raising invoice to you. Concentrate. My principal is raising invoice to you. Now who is your supplier? Principal. So whenever you pay interest to me, that is for giving you the finance. Therefore it will come under exempted. Interest on loans, advances, deposits. Understood how they connected it? So interest earned by del creditor agent. Interest earned by del creditor agent, you need to check who raised the invoice. Invoice raised by the principal to the buyer. Invoice raised by principal to buyer means agent is mere agent. Correct? Now whenever he collects the interest, that is for giving the finance facility, so that interest will be exempted. Interest received by del creditor agent from buyer will be exempted. Suppose if invoice is raised by del creditor agent to the buyer, means del creditor agent is only becoming the supplier, so whatever interest collected is on account of delay in receipt of consideration, and that will be chargeable to GST accordingly. And why it is said chargeable to GST accordingly? Because this particular interest is not an independent supply. So to the regular invoice, this interest will be added. Regular value of supply, this interest will be added. This interest will not be taxable independently, which means what is the rate of GST applicable on this interest? The rate of GST applicable on the main transaction. In the invoice, and the rate of GST will be there, na? That rate will be taken on the interest. That's why they said chargeable accordingly, which means that don't treat it like an independent transaction. So means literally you compute the value for payment of GST, na, in that value this interest will be added. That's where this in intermediate also you would have studied section 15 subsection 2 clause D, interest on account of delay in receipt of consideration should be included in the value of supply for payment of GST. Okay, then that is about this taxability of interest income and interest earned by del creditor agent. So you got the clarity about this pa? When agent will be acting on behalf of principal. So now come back to another definition, person. This is meaning of person. Meaning of person. So person is defined under section 2 clause 84. Person is defined under section 2 clause 84. Who is treated as person pa under GST? Same definition of person under Income Tax Act plus central government and state government is person under GST. What is the meaning of person under Income Tax Act? Individual, HUF, firm, LLP, AOP, BOI, body corporate, company, cooperative society, local authority, trust, then artificial juridical person. Now extra you add central government and state government. Government is not a person under Income Tax Act. but government is a person under GST. Why government is not a person under Income Tax Act? Because they have to pay income tax out of their pocket. So they will not be able to recover that money from the public. But in GST, it is not like that. So whatever GST they pay, in turn they will be recovering it from the public. Example, IRCTC, you take Indian Railways. Indian Railways, whenever they sell the ticket, so if they charge GST, the GST is additional consideration for them. Suppose if they pay income tax, it is like from one pocket to another pocket only. No new money is coming. So Indian Railways will pay to Ministry of Finance. But both are government only. But when it is GST, a new money comes from the public. So that's why under GST, government is also a person. Okay. But not all activities of government will be chargeable to GST. We have some exclusion from supply, some exemptions, etc. So person under Income Tax Act plus central government or state government is person under GST. Then next definition you can see meaning of business. So business is defined under section 2 clause 15 because in multiple places we have come across this in the course or furtherance of business, not in the course or furtherance of business like that. So what is the meaning of business? We have a general meaning and we have some specified activities. So these specific activities are treated as business whether it is covered under the general meaning of business or not. So we have a general meaning first. So in this general meaning, that is vague, lot of things are covered under this, but these are the specific activities. So these specific activities, whether it is covered under the general meaning of business or not, it will always be treated as business. First we will see the general meaning of business. Business is like trade, commerce, manufacture. Generally these three only na. Manufacturing sector, service sector, trade sector. Okay, trade, commerce, manufacture. Manufacture is production, manufacture. Commerce is service sector like banking, insurance, transportation, that will come under commerce. And trade is like sale of goods. Okay. Then profession, occasion, adventure. These three are related to skills. I have a skill and I am using that skill and making money. Then it will be either profession, occasion, adventure. Difference is, if I got the skill by way of qualification, it is profession. If I got the skill by way of experience, it is occasion. If I use that skill as a passion and incidentally if I earn money, then it will be called as adventure. Example, so doctor is profession, not occasion. Why? How much ever experience a nurse can have, but nurse can never become a doctor to operate, correct or not? So therefore, how many years of experience you may have in an articleship firm, you can never sign a balance sheet. So chartered accountant is profession. You got it? You have lot of experience. Sometimes your experience is more than the principal partner. Okay, but even then you will not be able to sign. Reason being, you are not supposed to do that. You cannot do that. So that is known as by way of qualification. When you get the skill by way of qualification, we call it as profession. Doctor, advocates, chartered accountants are example of that. Then occasion, you get the skill by way of experience. Example, magician, actor. So these are all by way of experience, not by way of any qualification. So magic show, will they go and learn in Hogwarts school along with Harry Potter how to do magic and all? No. And acting school, lot of people will go for acting school. Can they become actors just because they go for acting school? Definitely no. If that be the case, today itself we can quit CA and go and join in acting school. So definitely if we ask our parents, so they will be giving some 2 lakhs, 3 lakhs, that is a fees for acting school. But is there a guarantee that you will become an actor? See, the face cut, cut out, everything is important. You understood or not? So we have a lot of manufacturing defects, wherefrom we can become an actor all of a sudden. So that is altogether a different domain that comes out of experience. So that's an occasion. Astrologer, again occasion. Okay. So that is not by way of qualification. So just because, see, basically people who have learned the astrology proper, they will not become the famous astrologers. You have to blabber something, all wrong things only you need to tell. Okay, then you will become a most popular astrologer and all. You got it? So therefore, astrology today again it is a vocation. You should be able to speak. Okay, so lot of bullshit you need to speak, then you will become an astrologer, good astrologer. So again it is a vocation. Adventure is what? Passion. Like a doctor performing magic show. So by performing magic show he got some money, so it will be coming under adventure. Of course, doctor performing magic show is adventure only. And a chartered accountant acting in a movie and get some money. Chartered accountant acting in movies, adventure only. Are you understanding this? So, being into a profession or a vocation, if you use the skill which is independent of this existing and as a passion you get some money, that will be coming under adventure. Then, an actor makes some paintings and sells those paintings and gets some money. Whether the sale of painting will come under profession, occasion, no. Being acting is occasion, sale of painting will come under adventure. Understood? Then, wager. Wager refers to what? Betting activities. Betting activities will be coming under wager, any other similar activity. So, these are the 8 points that is given. So, teachers will be coming under profession. Okay, so because not everyone can teach, not everyone can teach, so definitely it will be a profession. Because one student asked me, tuition teacher will come under which category? So tuition teacher definitely profession only. So because to become a teacher there is a requisite qualification, B.Ed something they say, right? So to become a teacher, school teachers and all, so 12th completed means they can become teacher. No, there is a qualification, B.Ed, I think Bachelor of Education they need to study, and then only they can become a teacher. So it's based on a qualification only. So it will be coming under profession. So what are the 8 points that we have? Trade, commerce, manufacture, then profession, occasion, adventure, then wager or any other similar activity. Its incidental or ancillary is also covered. What is incidental or ancillary means? Supporting activities. A chartered accountant takes classes or authors book and gets some money. That will come under incidental or ancillary to profession. You understood? Being a chartered accountant is a profession, and he authors the books and gets a royalty income, or he takes seminars and gets some money. He takes classes and earns some money, so that will be coming under incidental or ancillary to his profession. But if he do something which is independent of his profession, that will come under adventure. Acting, not incidental or ancillary. Acting is altogether a different domain, so that will come under adventure. Understood? Then next, irrespective of volume, frequency or regularity, what does it mean? So there is no need of any continuity. Even if once we did that activity, that will come under business. For example, from quite a long time I wanted to start a restaurant and I want to become a chef. So I will start a restaurant and I will become a chef, and I will ask all of you to come and eat the food. So because of the respect that you have on me, you will come and you will purchase the food and eat. Immediately next day, vomiting, diarrhea and all. So I will shut down my restaurant. But for one day I have run the restaurant, so that will be business. You understood or not? Irrespective of the volume, continuity or frequency, then whether or not for a pecuniary benefit. Pecuniary benefit means profit motive. So pecuniary benefit means profit motive is present or not, it will be treated as business. Example, you take Tirumala Tirupati Devasthanam, they are selling Tirumala temple, they will be selling laddus. Sale of laddu, is it for profit motive? No. Sir, by selling laddus, Mr. Venkat don't have to survive. He has wealth with which he can purchase multiple universes also. Okay. So therefore, by selling laddu and all, he don't have to survive. But the sale of laddu is actually to meet the expenses. So this is not for profit motive, but even then it will come under a trade and it will be coming under business. You understood? So sale of dairies, sale of calendars, sale of food preparations in the temple, all these will be coming under trade, even though it is for non-profit motive, okay, because they said whether or not for a pecuniary benefit. Come on, tell me what is the general meaning of business? Total 8 activities: trade, commerce, manufacture, profession, occasion, adventure, wager, or any other similar activity. It's incidental or ancillary, whether or not there is continuity, regularity, and whether or not it is for a pecuniary benefit. So then we have these specific activities that we will discuss from next class, okay. So tomorrow, from tomorrow onwards, so the regular classes will start, and tomorrow class timing will be 7:30 to 1:30. And those who are watching online, so please install the app, because no more YouTube, already over, and please install the app which we have shared in your email. So please activate, even for you also, you are all there in the group. So please install the app or application in your laptop or mobile, and one serial key would have been given to you. You activate that to watch the backup lectures for you face to face. For online students, live class and all will be in that. And you also, I told you, na, like sometimes when you are unable to attend face to face, you can sit at home and attend online live. So that's why that app you need to install. And device change and all we will not allow. So therefore, while installing itself, you decide in which device you are going to use until your exams. In that itself you install, okay. In the midway, please don't ask us to change the device and all, because unnecessary for that. Again we need to buy another serial key and we need to incur the charges. Please try to understand, okay. Thank you. We'll meet tomorrow 7:30. Take care.